Hello, 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 and welcome to Freedom Friday for today. My name is Dr. B, the baggage handler, and it is my job, my assignment, my desire to help you clean out the baggage that clogs up your soul, right? And so today we are going to talk about you stopping and being your own dream killer in your life. This week we have talked about self sabotage. We have talked about self sabotage all of August, and we will conclude next week with the self sabotage lesson. So, first thing I want you to do is tell me where you are and what is in your cup for this good tea and truth. Now, y'all, I'm on some water right now because I'm doing some different things in my life. So, I can't just have tea like that every day because, calories. So, we are we're pretending this is tea. Now, what I may do next week is get me some ginger root and boil it, and then that can be ginger root, some water, and some lemon and some honey. I might do that. I might do that. So let's chit chat about not being our own dream killers. Okay. So in in June, we were heading towards the 6 month marker, the halfway point for the year. And I told you all, my ear is so loud. I told you all to reflect back, to the first of the year. And I said, hey y'all, look at your look at the resolutions that y'all made at the beginning of the year. And I said, have check and see, have you have you uh completed any of those goals? I said a lot of times, we go through the year, we make these great resolutions, and then, we're going to exercise, we're going to do all these things. And we get to about month three, and we're back to life as normal. Why are we back to life as normal? We talked about that. We talked about that our patterns and the way we were brought up and the way we were raised and the things we think and the things that we have done historically cause us to fall back into the same behavioral pattern. And so it's your thoughts that impact your behavior, that impact your results. How do I say this in an easier way? It's your insides that affect your outsides. Mhm. It is your insides that affect your outsides. Hey, I see I got a couple of people watching. Tell me where you are and what you're drinking because this is tea and truth. So we started talking about confidence in the month of July. Hey, Miss Tina, how are you? And happy belated birthday. So we started talking about confidence and how confidence is the quality or state of being certain. And so we wanted to make sure that we were being certain about the right thing. And that confidence is not something that you don't have to think that people are either born with it or born without it. Confidence is something that you can grow. And we came up with a formula for how to grow your confidence. And we said that confidence equals evidence plus acknowledgement on repeat. Evidence, something that you've done successfully. And as long as it's successful and legal and moral, then we can look at anything, any measure of success. Even so much as, like, let's say someone is dealing with depression, and it is a difficult situation for them to get out of bed. And this particular day, the person who is dealing with depression got out of bed. I need for them to celebrate that. I need for them to acknowledge that they have done something successfully. If you've done something that you've never done before, then don't just whiz by that. Celebrate that win. Now, you don't have to take it around the world, but you can cheer for yourself. You can clap for yourself. You can share it with somebody who cares about you and understands the difficulty that you may have in some areas, and that person can say something great and encouraging to you. Do that on repeat. So that builds your confidence, right? Now, We talked about sometimes that in building confidence, that we also experience some tendencies to self-sabotage, which can, it doesn't have to, which can keep us from creating evidence to acknowledge. And so that's where we are in August, because we want to make sure that in achieving our goals that we set at the beginning of the year, that we operate with integrity towards ourselves. Integrity is honesty, basically. We want to operate with honesty and incorruptibility to ourselves and our goals, right? And so the scripture that is anchoring us in this thought is Proverbs 11:3. Integrity will lead you to success, but treachery is violation of faith and confidence. Treachery will destroy your dreams. So here we are with today, and are you your own dream killer, right? Okay, so we talked about confidence. We talked about self sabotage. Self sabotage is simply making decisions that are the opposite of the goal that you're trying to achieve. We talked briefly about where it came from, which is environment, which is things you think about yourself. We talked about where it came from. We identified patterns. We talked about how even your very body adapts to the behaviors that you do. For instance, you have an opportunity, you feel stressed, you want to take the opportunity, but you feel very, very stressed about it. So you don't sit in the discomfort and go forward. You just stop. You just don't take the opportunity. So now you feel relieved. So now that your body feels relieved and you repeat that pattern, your body is looking for you to bag out every time you feel some discomfort. And the fact of the matter is that building confidence can sometimes be uncomfortable. And sometimes you have to sit in that discomfort. Okay? So now we are at talking about how to interrupt those patterns of where you get stressed and you bag out and you go away. As I was out, as I said to myself, I done punked out on a couple of things because it just felt easier to do that. I have done it. Okay. So I want to give you some things to help you interrupt the pattern. Okay. I'm all about I'm all about some steps, because steps help me, because I'm a routine type of chick. I like, let me do 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to my goal. So in order to interrupt the pattern of self-sabotage, we want to keep the promise that we made to ourselves. We want to replace the lie that we think about ourselves. We want to create new evidence. See that create new evidence? Because new evidence that you acknowledge grows your confidence. And then we want to speak life. Okay. So keeping promises to yourself. When you want to operate with integrity to yourself and you have recognized that you have this habit of doing this thing, whatever it is, over and over again, that keeps you from achieving your goals, right? You want to lose 10 pounds. You keep saying, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go walk. I'm going to go walk at 8 o'clock tomorrow. No, let me take that back because that's work time. I'm going to go walk at 6:30 in the morning before work. You have the opportunity to fail 32 times before 6:30 in the morning gets here. You can hit the snooze button. You can sleep through the alarm. It's so many opportunities for you to fail. But if you do something like say, you know what, I'm going to walk tomorrow, then you have way more opportunities to succeed than trying to make this one opportunity to walk, right? So when you make a promise to yourself and you're trying to interrupt a pattern, you want to give yourself some grace. You want to make a promise to yourself that that you have a great chance of keeping it. Making it easy on yourself is really okay. I have a friend that when I was minister of music, he used to tell me all the time. I would be trying to get things done and done with excellence and all these things, and it would oftentimes stress me out, but not the people. And he would always be behind my head going, Karen, this is my bass player, Eric. He'd be like, Karen, make it easy on yourself. We can do it. Make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on yourself to keep the promise. A thing that I do is I figure I have to do everything all tomorrow. I got to do it all tomorrow. It's got to be started and finished to excellence, but it's not perfection because perfection you never get to. It's got to all be done tomorrow. I had to stop that. I had to learn to pace myself. I had to learn. Hey, Candace, how are you doing? I had to learn that it is okay to say, this is the goal. I can get this goal done in 10 days if I do this, if I do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday. If 10 days is a reasonable thing, a reasonable time frame to get something done in. Like if I have 3 weeks to get something done, then I'm going to do something every day to get it done in say 14 days and give me 7 days to go back and tweak it, to correct it. So you make it easy to keep the promise to yourself, right? So then you replace the lie. So let me tell you about me. I just when I'm teaching y'all stuff that I learned for myself. I'm not teaching you something that I done read in somebody's book. Well, I am teaching you stuff that I done read in somebody's book, but I'm also telling you about my experience. So let's talk about Karen. I got about 5 or 6 minutes left. So let's talk about Karen and her relationship with Canva. Okay, so we are on replace the lie. Now, I have attempted to do some things in Canva, and here recently I've gotten better. But for a long time, me and Campbell had a horrible relationship. And so there will be things that I would need to do. Flyers I need to get done. Just all the things that you can do in Canva, pictures that I need would like to get edited and changed and whatever. And I would go in Canva and I would get lost and confused and I would get frustrated and I'd slam the computer down and I would walk away. See how that opportunity, stress, relief, I was in that pattern with Canva. So I had developed this lie that said, me and Canva don't get along. Me and Canva does not like me. I had said this a gajillion times. Well, I needed some business cards. And I tried the food with Vista Print. And I said, now this is just, Vista Print had too many choices and all the, it was too much. And so I was like, well, let me go on and try Canva. So I created a design. I went in Canva. Now, y'all know I was scared, right? Y'all know I was sitting there going, whew. But instead of saying the thing that I usually say, I said, I can do this. Y'all, my eyes itching real bad. I said, I can do this. Let me just take my time. Let me think through it because I wanted some business cards for an event that's later on in the month. So I sat there. I kept, you know, if it got a little difficult, I bag up, I walk away, I go get me some water. I tell myself I can do it. I come back. I sit down. Now this might be very, very, very elementary to some people because you're probably sitting there going, why the blue blazers can't she function in Canva? Mind your business. I couldn't. So I kept on plugging away. I kept on plugging away. And finally, between Canva and chat, I kept plugging away, and I completed my project. So now I have replaced the lie that me and Canva have a horrible relationship. I am not a Canva master. I can function a little bit in Canva. So now the lie that I used to say, me and Canva had a horrible relationship, me and Canva are now getting to know each other. And I'm open to getting to know Canva and Canva getting to know me. So I've replaced the lie. Now, I completed the card project. I placed my order. So now my order is on the way to me. So now I will have evidence, because that's the next step. Create evidence. So now I will have evidence that I have replaced the lie about my issue in Canva, right? And so now the only thing left was to speak life. And so now what I say is, okay, the next time I get ready to do something in Canva, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna be calm, and I'm going to get to know Canva even better. And so after I got through, so now we're at the point of building confidence. So now I have evidence. Are y'all with me? If y'all are with me, put a 5 in the comments. So now I have evidence because I see the completed project sitting in Canva and I see the thing saying process, and I got the alert yesterday that my cards have shipped. So yeah. So now I have evidence. And what did we say evidence was? What did we say confidence was? Confidence is evidence plus acknowledgement on repeat. So what did I do? I patted myself on the back because I don't have to wait for anybody to celebrate me. I patted myself on the back and I said, Karen, good job. I am so proud of you. And I sat there grinning in my den with my laptop on my lap going, I did it, I did it, I did it. Big deal for me. It might be nothing for you, but it was a big deal for me. But just use those same principles as something that is difficult for you, right? And so then my husband comes in and he's like, what are you doing? I said, I am celebrating me that I made some cards in Canva. He said, you did? Because he knows that I used to have a bad aversion to Canva. So now, so he's looking at it. I showed him, I said, here's my card. He was like, oh, that's nice. I said, I did it all by myself. I know I'm 50-some years old. I did it all by myself. I did do it all by myself. And so he then gives me a high five. Now, I have evidence plus acknowledgement from myself and my spouse. So now guess what's up? My confidence is up in that area. Use that in any area that you find that you are having difficulty functioning in. Keep the promise, replace the lie, create the evidence, and speak life, because now I might not be able to create the most complex project in Canva, but guess what the next thing I'm looking at learning how to do? Get Canva to schedule me some posts on Facebook. And why am I going to try? Because I have evidence that I can make something happen in in Canva. So now let's go back to these goals that we talked about in July, where I said, have you completed all your New Year's resolutions that you set forth for yourself, or did you fall back into your regular lifestyle? Because we hadn't got to the fourth quarter yet. October, November, December. This is pre-season to getting your goals accomplished for the end of the year. You might not be able to finish them now because maybe you ain't worked on them all year, but guess what? You can get started and you can get to another place and you can get your goals started to get done. And instead of writing the same goal on your vision board every January, you can say, you know what? I've done A, B, C. I need to do 1, 2, 3, and I can finish this goal. Instead of, here we go with the same goal again on this vision board on this January for this new year. Because I wrote a vision board. Where's my vision board? It's in here. I made one in 2025. I'm not making another one until the 2025 vision board is everything is moved off. Not making another one. There's no reason for me to make another one. I'm gonna stay focused on the goals because why change? Because why change, right? So now we have kept the promise. We have a way to keep the promise. We have a way to replace the lie. That is how you shift your thinking about things. Because guess what? Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true, and just because you think it doesn't mean it has to stay your thought pattern for forever. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is how we interrupt the pattern of self-sabotage. I'd like to thank y'all for joining me. Y'all, look here. I know it's backwards. I have written a book. It's called Unlocking Me: 6 Confidence Keys to Unlock Forgiveness. So this is a 30-day guided journal that helps you walk through some confidence keys to unlock forgiveness. If you know me, then you know my love in life is helping people to walk through forgiveness. And one thing I've learned also about confidence is that if you can forgive some things that have happened in your life, then your confidence goes up. So that's why I do confidence coaching, because again, I coach I coach what I've learned and I coach what I've lived, right? So if you would like to get a guided journal, it is really easy. You get a scripture, you get a prayer, you get some reflection questions, and you get some voice reflections that you can record, and you get some soul activities that help you stay true to the things that you learn in this book. If you message me, the book is $20. Now it's on Amazon, but it costs a little bit more. So if you want to talk about some more about confidence and forgiveness, order this. Let me know. All right, y'all. That is Freedom Through Forgiveness and Freedom Friday for this week, y'all. I am working on getting my website up so that I can be available for some coaching sessions, just in case you want to talk one-on-one with me about some things that you have in your soul that maybe we can work through together. So look for me next Tuesday at 4:30. It's Tuesdays and Fridays at 4:30, unless I post otherwise. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a great, wonderful weekend. This is Dr. Karen Booth, the baggage handler, signing off for this week. And I will see y'all next week, Tuesday, 4:30, for Tea and Truth with Karen Booth. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you, Miss Patton.